All right, welcome to Frank Teaches DevOps. Hello, my lovely viewers. I thank you. So we'll be starting off with a new technology. Not really a new technology though, but a new video series. Yeah, a new video series on Ansible. Okay, Ansible. I've been there for a long time, very long, and Ansible was developed by Red Hat, right? Red Hat Linux, Red Hat, I see, and Ansible. So today's video will be solely for it's a beginner's phase video, all right, which is an introductory phase, all right? It's an introductory phase, and these this series I'm going to handle will is going to touch almost every important aspect of Ansible. First will be the introduction. After the introduction, um, my next episode in this series will be working with other commands, right? Other commands. So until this last stage, we will see how to install Ansible. That's where this video will end. All right. So now let's start. Let's get started. What is Ansible? So in this video, what we are going to learn in this video will be what's Ansible, Ansible features, what does it do, Ansible connection setup, and installing Ansible. All right. Now, what is Ansible? Ansible is a configuration management tool used for managing and configuring machines. Now, when we say configuration management sorry, is it has the capability of managing virtual machines. It also has the capability of managing machines that runs bare metal. Yeah, bare metal. It also has the capabilities of managing virtual machines both on the cloud as well as on premise. Okay, on premise. But in this video series, my focus will be on AWS instances running on AWS, right? So our focus will be on instances running on AWS. So that's where our focus is going to lie, right? So that's what Ansible is. Then what are the features of Ansible? The first feature is it is an agentless configuration. All right. So now before I go into the next topic, which is Ansible features, let's talk about other tools that do the same thing as Ansible. Okay, I have Ansible as a configuration manager, and we also have a tool called Puppet as also a configuration manager. Let me separate these guys. All right, Ansible. Let me separate these guys. Okay, I have Puppet, I have Chef, I have Salt. Which other tool again do I have? All right, let's keep it simple. All right, so these are all right. Let me do something. Change this color. Configuration managers. All right, so all of these are configuration managers. Okay, I'm going to take it off briefly. This is a configuration manager, and this is also a configuration manager. Ansible is the configuration manager. Puppet, Chef, and Salt, they are configuration managers. They do the same thing Ansible could do or can do. All right. So now the only difference between Ansible and all of these I've mentioned, Puppet, Chef, and Salt, is agent. Ansible is agentless. Ansible, I don't need to configure client and server agents. All right. I don't need to set that up. But on Puppet, Chef, Salt, I need to configure a client agent. Client agent. That's why when you come to the features of Ansible, we have been told that Ansible is an agentless configuration manager tool. Right? Agentless. It does not use agents. Let me take this guy maybe down. Okay. All right. It does not use agents. Okay. It just make you okay. Let's continue. Now, one other feature is it uses SSH to connect to the managed nodes or machines. All right. So Ansible leverage on SSH, open SSH to make connectivity. We're going to see all of that at the end of this video. And the third part says Ansible is simple. Sincerely, Ansible is simple. It's easy to learn, very easy to learn compared to Puppet, Chef, Salt. Because in Puppet or Chef or Salt, I need to set up the server and the client. So the agent, the Puppet agent or Chef agent or Salt agent must be running on both the server being the control machine and the clients. All right. So the control machine here in this context is the server, and the clients are and the clients are and these other machines are the clients. All right. So let's continue with the features. Simple and it's very, very powerful. Okay. Now, what does it do? What does Ansible do? It helps you to automate provisioning, configuration management, application deployment, orchestration, and many other IT processes. Okay, so what does it do? It helps to automate provisioning, configuration management, application deployment, orchestration, and many other IT processes. Okay, so all right, so let's move forward. The next phase is Ansible configuration setup. Um, yeah, this is more like the architecture, all right, the architecture um, at a top level, at a higher level, all right. So now this is what we have. We have on my left here, we have a control machine. So this the control machine. This is where you get to install Ansible on. Then on the right here, you have your target machines, the target machines. So on this machine, you are deploying your provisioning, your infrastructure, your services, your application to those machines using Ansible. So this is how it works. All right. So from this control machine, I'm going to generate my SSH key pair. Right. Then I will copy my private key, sorry, my public key. All of these client machines, they are going to have a copy of my public key. All right. We are going to do all of that when we get to the last part. Okay. Let me add it to what we have here. Setting up SSH. Setting up SSH. Okay. Setting up SSH. Then the last. Okay. Let me add this part. Sorry, I didn't add it. Mm-hmm. Setting up SSH. Okay, which will be that's oh sorry, it's a mistake. Okay, all right. Now let's see, installing Ansible. So this part, installing Ansible, is going to take us into the demo. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spin 5 machines. All right, I'm going to be spinning 5 machines. One is going to be my control node, and the rest 4 is going to be the client node. So let's get to AWS and spin those machines. All right, let's go to AWS and spin those machines. Quickly, it's not going to take us time. So I'll be using Ubuntu machines, launch instance. Let me just give it a name. Let me say control VM. All right. Control VM. I take Ubuntu version 20 and keep Frankie's, my network, Frank VPC, subnet, security group, Frank SG. Okay, number of instances, I need five of it, launch instance. So I'm going to be having these guys. Let me put off these guys as well. Stop instances. So one will be my control VM, and this will be, let's say, web 01. Okay. This other will be web 02. This will be app 01. This will be app 02. Okay, so you can see from architecture, I have web 01, web 02, app 01, app 02, then the control node. Okay, so let's get connected to these guys. Let's get connected to these guys. So I'm going to be opening these tabs. Let's get connected. So first, I'm going to get connected to my control machine. Connect, copy, paste that. So this is my control machine. Oh, sorry, I need to interchange. Great. So this will be web 01. Mm-hmm. Connect, copy. Um, so that will be web 01. Shell, new tab. Um, Let me give it different color. Grass. Okay. Grass for terminate this. So just to identify them. All right. So grass for my web 01. Open another one. New tab. Grass. Web 02. Okay. Web 02. Web 01, web 02. They're using grass. Uses grass. Then app 01, app 02 should use homebrew. Man page, no. Should I use ocean? Is this nice? No, this is not nice. This is not nice. Mm, um okay, novel. There's a difference. Novel. Okay. And the last one is novel as well. Novel. So this would be app 01. App 01, copy, copy. Then app 02, app 02 should be here. I'm just showing us in a layman way. All right. So I have another method where I can just copy the SSH keys. But let's get started though. Before that, okay. So I have my control machine. I have my let me make it bigger. One, two, one, two. Just bear with us. Okay. So I have the control node. I have Web 01, Web 02, App 01, and App 02. So let's go back to architecture. So you can see I have set up control machine and these four machines, right? So now let's see how we can install Ansible on the control node. So I'll be installing Ansible on this control node. So I'll be using pip, pip. I'll be using pip for the installation. So let's go to the control node. Here's the control node. So sudo apt update. Let's update this first. Sudo apt update. Okay. While it's updating. All right, done. Now sudo apt install pip. Yes. So with on Ubuntu machines with PIP, we can install Ansible, all right? Because Ansible is developed using Python, and Ansible is seen as a Python module, a Python framework, all right? So that's why you could use PIP. It's seen as a Python package, right? So PIP is Python package manager. It's a package manager on Python, all right? So you use PIP to install packages that are written in Python. And since Ansible is written in Python, we can comfortably use PIP to install Python. Sorry, PIP to install Ansible. So we'll say PIP install Ansible, just as easy as straightforward. So once all of these goes through, this should comfortably install Ansible. And this is what we'll use going forward. All right, let's just wait while the installation gets finished. Okay, let's just wait while the installation completes. Let me pause. So, as you can see, we have been told that successfully installed markup save, Ansible, Ansible core, Ginger packaging. Now let's check if Ansible is truly installed. So if I do Ansible, I hit on my tab key, so I would see all of Ansible components. We have the Ansible core itself, Ansible community, Ansible config, Ansible connection, console, Ansible doc. In this series, we'll be making use of Ansible doc a lot. All right. Ansible Galaxy, Ansible inventory, Ansible playbook, Ansible pull, test, and vault. Okay. So let's check the version of Ansible that we just installed. So here's the version Ansible Core 2.13.8. So far, I've been able to use PIP to install Ansible. So we are set. So now let's see how we can create connection, which is the last for this video. The last topic for this video is setting up SSH. All right. So I want to see how we can create a connection between the control node and my client node. All right, my target node. So let's see how that works. Okay. So what I will do is I'll go into my .ssh file. There is nothing there, right? It's nothing there. Now, let's go back out. So I would say SSH key generate. SSH key generate. So this is going to generate for me a key pair. Let me come here. So SSH small letter please. SSH key gen. So this guy is going to create for me key pairs. One of these is a private key and the other is a public key. So, right? So we here I'll have a private key, and on this I'll have a public key. So these are the two keys that are going to be generated from this command. From this command. So from this command, I'm having a private key, and from this same command, I'm having a public key. So let's get started and see what happens. All right. So with SSH keygen, I hit enter. It's going to ask, where do you want to save this file? So it's always better, stress free. You save it at the default location, which is on your home.ssh, then the file name. All right. So that's okay. It's requesting we enter a file, but we're not going to enter a file. We are going to use a default as it is. So hit enter. That's fine. Then it asks for a passphrase. So since it's agent agentless, so since it's SSH, so we are going to use a no password. So don't put any password. Enter. Because we'll be SSH will be using this connectivity. The node will be using SSH. This node will be using SSH to connect to this machine. So we want the user that will be using SSH to connect to this machine not to have any password. SSH should not ask for any password. All right. So passphrase enter. That is all. So I've successfully um, generated my SSH keys, private and public. So let's see them. So I'll go to the directory where those keys are. I'll change directory into .ssh. I'll enter. Then I'll search. So I'm going to see the two keys. This is private key and this is my public key. As you can see from illustration here, SSH keygen generates for me a private key and a public key. So let's see the content of these keys. So cat the private key first. So here's the private key. It's telling us that this is the end of the private key and this is beginning of the private key. All right. So let's check for the other one. .pub. So tell me that this is my what? Public key. Okay. So this is my public key. So this is the key that I need to copy. All right. So I'm going to be doing it two ways. One is manual method and the other is automatic method. So the manual method will require a password to connect first to the machine. Right. Sorry, the automatic method where we need to copy the key SSH copy ID, right? So with this command, I should be able to send my key to the remote machine, But I won't be doing that now. I want to take us through the manual method. Then we shall see how we can work around with the automated method, which is by copying your public key to the target machines. All right. So this is what I will do. Now, on this is web 01. So on web 01, this machine has .ssh. This is too faint. There we can change the background. Okay. All right. So now it has .ssh. So I'm going to go into the directory .ssh. Now it has a file called authorized keys. Okay. Now open this file called authorized keys. So in this file, I'm going to copy the public key of my control machine. The public key of my control machine. I'll copy this file. Okay. Now let me do something. Let's do copy these guys, paste it. Great. Now I'm going to copy the public key. I'm going to share my public key with all of these machines. I'm sharing my public key. That's what's happening. I'm going to share my public keys. So all of these machines, they're going to have my public key for easy connectivity. Okay, this is what's going to happen now. So I'll come back here. I'll copy the public key. This is my public key. I'll copy it. Right click, copy. Then I'll go to web 01, and I'll paste that key. It's pasted. I'll escape, save and quit. I've done for a web 01. So I'll go to web 02. I'll do the same thing. Change directory SSH and open the authorized key files. So I will do the same thing. I will paste it. Escape, save and quit. App 01. So I will do the same thing. Authorize. I will paste it. Okay. I'll paste it. I'll now go to app 02. I will do the same thing. Authorize, and I will paste it. Okay. So at this juncture, let's come back. Where are we? So at this juncture, web 01, web 02, app 0102, they have the public key of the control machine. So here's the control machine. They have the public key of the control machine. So it implies that I can comfortably SSH into either of these machines without a password. Without a password. Okay, great. Now, the next thing I need to confirm is I need to make sure that Ubuntu, the user I am working with, has sudo access. All right. Now, note, make sure that the user to make SSH connectivity has a sudo access. Has a sudo access. Let me put all of these in caps. Has a what? A sudo access, meaning that it must have a root privilege. All right. So now, since I am working with cloud-based machine, all right, AWS instances from AWS, by default, the first user on Ubuntu machine is Ubuntu user, and Ubuntu user has sudo access. All right, the Ubuntu user has a sudo access. So now the next thing I need to check out for is I need to check out that the Ubuntu user must not provide password while logging in as a root user. Now let's check that. Let me take that again. I have a setting in place that does not allow that allows the sudo user not to impute any password. It has to be passwordless, all right, for all of these SSH connectivity to work. And since I'm working with cloud-based VM, that has already been set up for me. So, but let's confirm. So sudo into root. So the file is under slash etc slash sudoers.d. Then there's a file. Before I go into that file, let me just change into directory sudoers.d. So I'm going to see a file called 90 cloud init users. So in this file, you have to make an entry for the root for the sudo user, which is Ubuntu, not to impute passwordless authentication, passwordless authentication. So I'll go into that file called 90 cloud init. Then in this file, you will see somewhere they say user rules for Ubuntu. Now, this user Ubuntu should not be asked password whenever he's trying to perform root-based tasks. Whenever this user is trying to perform root-based tasks, this user should not be asked any password. So on all of these machines, this is what we have. This is the kind of configuration we have. So if I go to here as well, if I go here, app1, sudo, okay, and I look at the file, etc sudoers.d, then 90 is all there, all right? It is there. So with these settings, we are good to go. We are good to go. We are good to go. Let's go back. We are good to go. Okay, we are good to go. From I'm all set. So from my control machine, I can now log into either of these machines without password via SSH. So let's try that and see. So my IP for this first machine is ifconfig. if, oh, it's not installed. So sudo apt install nettools. I think that should give us IP. If config nettools. Um, Let me try that here as well. Sudo apt install net dash tools. Sudo apt install net tools. Sudo apt install net tools. So let's check here. IF, okay, and I have IF config coming. So the IP, the private IP for this machine is 1.213. Let's check this. Let's check the rest. IF config, IF config. Okay, so now I've copied this guy. So now let's try to SSH. So I'll say SSH from my control node into web 01, right? SSH into this guy, and let's see what happens. So I hit enter. It asks for the fingerprint. I say yes. I hit enter. So you can see I have been able to SSH from the control machine into the target machine. So I've been able to SSH from the control machine into the target machine. So you can see this is my target machine 1.21. So let me exit. I am back to my base, to my control machine. I will do the same thing. Let's pick this guy's IP. So all of these, we are testing SSH connectivity. We are testing SSH connectivity. You can see I am inside of web 02. Let's exit. I'm out. I'll do the same thing with this is 0.43. Copy app 01. So SSH into the guy. This is app 01. So I'm inside of app 01. Okay. I exit. Then finally, let's SSH into app 02. Copy. SSH app 02. Great. So far, we've been able to SSH. Let me exit. We've been able to SSH from the control node. Look at this. We've been able to SSH from where my control machine, which is right here. Let me reduce this guy. My control machine, okay, which is right here, into each of these target machines. All right, each of these target machines. All right, so we're going to end there for today. We finished this video. We're going to end there for today. When we come in our next episode, all right, in this series, we shall look at Ansible ad hoc commands. Okay, Ansible ad hoc commands. But let's just show something in a glimpse. Okay, let us show something in a glimpse to tell us that we can actually with Ansible reach to these instances. All right, this target instance. So now I want to ping. I want to check with SSH. So with Ansible now. With Ansible, I want to check if I can reach web 01, right? Web 01 via SSH. I could reach all the target machines, but now I want to check via Ansible if I could reach these machines. So what I'll be doing, I'll be using a module, an Ansible module called ping. All right. So I'm saying Ansible all, though I'm not supposed to be doing this for now, but for the sake of for learning. I just want to show us, okay? But when we shall start, we shall show us how these things work. All right. So now this is what's happening. I'm using Ansible. I'm targeting all because I don't have an inventory yet, an inventory file. So this is what I'm going to explain in my next video, right? In my next video, I'm going to be explaining what an inventory is and all of that, and what modules are, all right, and what the ad hoc commands we have available to us on Ansible. All right. So now I want to check my connectivity between my control machine and the target machine via Ansible. Okay, so now I use the Ansible CLI, which is Ansible, followed by this specify all the hosts. Then this I means specify your inventory. Since I don't have an inventory file, so I'll just use this I option followed by the host name, all right, of a target machine. Then this comma means that I need to separate. I'm going to tell Ansible that this is at the same time acting as an inventory file. All right. Then the kind of module I'm using is called ping. So ping is going to check if this machine is alive via Ansible. So if I hit enter, let's see, it should respond with a pong. All right. This response with a pong tells us that yes, we could reach this machine web 01 via Ansible. So from here, I can now comfortably manage either of these nodes. So let's see how we can reach all of these machines at the same time. So I'll copy this guy's IP as well. Let's go to my control machine. Comma separated. Um, comma. Okay. Let me see something. This as well. Comma. Then finally this. Let's see what happens. Comma. Okay, okay. Sorry for that glimpse. Sorry for that glimpse, please. Um. Sorry. There shouldn't be any space. Please be very careful. There should be no space between the nodes. There should be no space between these nodes. All right. So this it's like you're just specifying an inventory. Okay. But when we shall start properly, we will be using a file, inventory file, to accommodate all of these nodes. All right. To accommodate all of these nodes. So I want to show us how we can reach all of these guys with this command. So let's check if there's a connectivity. Perfect. So we have a connectivity. Okay. Let me reduce this guy a bit. We have a connectivity from, okay, great. Now from my control machine, which is this, I could reach web 01, web 01, web 02, app 01, app 02. So far so good. We've been able to see how we've been able to see how we could initiate connection, all right, between my control machine and my respective target machine. So at this juncture, we'll be ending this video at this point. And when we meet in our next episode, we shall look into Ansible inventory, inventory, setting up inventory, and and playing with Ansible ad hoc commands. Until next time, I say bye bye, bye bye, and don't fail, please, don't fail to like our video, to like our channel, sorry, to subscribe to our channel, and yeah, thank you, and see you in the next video. Thank you.